Are pregnancies caused by alien abductions the sixth observable? Well, let's talk about that and the abduction phenomenon in general. So get in here. This is Jack with the Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so Danny Silva says, I was sitting on this story for over a year and couldn't talk about it. Then it went public and I was able to. Interesting to see the sixth observable listed the same way even at Seoul years later. ATIP's sixth observable, biological effects and injuries from the phenomenon. Now, obviously, there are a wide range of injuries associated with the phenomenon. Radiation burns, anemia, thinking of the Colares incident, but a very alarming additional physical side effect of alien encounters are unexplained pregnancies, and then very frequently the vanishing of those pregnancies. Now, in the alien abduction phenomenon, that occurs quite a lot because a big part of the alien abduction phenomenon, one of the main agendas seems to be the creation of hybrids. The more alien-looking hybrids stay aboard the ships and continue assisting in the abduction phenomenon. The more human-looking ones come to Earth. Reason unknown, and I've shared before various speculations on why that reason might be. Maybe they're here to help us, to help upgrade us, to spread their wisdom throughout our civilization, to embed in our government, and to raise us up because of their positivity. Also, it could go the other way, right? I shared just yesterday the theory that they could be hybridizing with us to take so that they could basically co-opt our immune system so they could inherit the Earth. So that's very troubling. Now, the best information as far as numbers go, as far as the abduction phenomenon goes, how many abductions there are, comes from the Roper poll done in the 90s by John Mack, David Jacobs, and Bud Hopkins. I wish we had different numbers and better numbers and, a range of studies that have been done on this giving us more data to look at, but this is what we have. This is the Roper poll, which is this very well-respected poll with a very large sample size, done in a very professional manner. If we did the same poll today, I don't think we could get very accurate results because everybody knows about abductions, or a lot of people know about abductions and their various side effects. If you ask people about missing time and strange scars now, they're going to know what you're talking about. So you're not going to get as accurate of a reading. So this the Roper poll from the 90s is the best that we have, and it said that 2%. The results were that 2% of the world populace are being abducted. Now, we have later additional information supplied by David Jacobs, who says that actually they really had to shave off a lot of results to get less alarming numbers, that the real percentage was closer to 5%. Let's just say it's 3%. That's still over 200 million people. And this is generational. If you're abducted, it's likely one of your parents will have been abducted, and so forth. And this is continuous throughout these people's lives in many or most cases. It's weekly, it's monthly, it's yearly, it's continually, and all without getting caught for the most part, or any effects, right? You might have some weird dreams, and that's about it. Maybe there'll be some marks on you, maybe not. But the beings are able to do this all unnoticed, largely. So it's not the military guys. It's not me labs. It's not my labs. Now they do that. The military does abduct people. There are my labs, but that is obviously a very small percentage of what is going on. Again, hundreds of millions of abductees over who knows how, going back how long, right? So yeah, so it's a widespread phenomenon. When did it start? What is all this about? Well, many people think it goes back to Eisenhower, and that Eisenhower made a deal with the beings in exchange for technology. And there's various pieces of evidence to support the Eisenhower meetings with the beings. One of them comes from this guy, former legislator Henry McElroy. All right, let's see what Henry has to say.
The document I saw was an official brief to President Eisenhower. To the best of my memory, this brief was pervaded with a sense of hope, and it informed President Eisenhower of the continued presence of extraterrestrial beings here in the United States of America. The brief seemed to indicate that a meeting between the President and some of these visitors could be arranged as appropriate if desired. The tone of the brief indicated to me that there was no need for concern, since these visitors were in no way causing any harm or had any intention whatsoever of causing any disruption then or in the future. While I can't verify the times or places or that any meeting or meetings occurred directly between Eisenhower and these visitors, because of his optimism in his farewell address in 1961, I personally believe that Eisenhower did indeed meet with these extraterrestrial off-world astronauts.
So there you go. There's one piece of evidence, and of course there are various other pieces of evidence to suggest that this meeting actually took place. There may have actually been multiple meetings in a couple of different air bases, and but again, it's really hard to tell which version of that story is true, if any of them. But there does seem to be some there. Now, MJ-12 may have started under Truman, and then they only began having these open contact experiences with the president during Eisenhower. Who knows the exact timeline when all this went down, if it did. But it would explain why, in so many cases, government and military types are assisting the beings in abductions, if there was this official understanding between our race and their race.
Why would people in Kansas and people on the island of New Guinea have similar experiences, explain them in different languages, but have the details come out almost identical?
Very good point. But understanding how it got started is one thing, but what is it all about? And could pregnancies be part of it? Could that be part of the sixth observable, as Danny Silva says? Well, my best insight into that is listening to the experiencers themselves. I've made a great study of alien abductions and have listened to countless alien abductions and read about them and researched the phenomenon. That's what I think is the best way to get a peek beyond the veil, right? That's why I also studied near-death experiences, is to see a glimpse of the other side by people who have actually gone there. Now, a lot of these memories are recovered memories through hypnosis. These people's minds largely, often, have been wiped by the beings, and who knows what sort of, intrusions the beings have put in their minds, false imagery or ideas, who knows. But what we have is their remembered accounts, sometimes even conscious accounts where their minds haven't been wiped. But so many of them do talk about the pregnancies, about the hybridization program. Let's listen to one of them.
Well, the hardest part for me is when I got pregnant, because when I got pregnant, I assumed that I got pregnant by the man that I was going to marry. And I still think I did. I don't, you know, it's just a tug of war inside of me. And I was just like any other woman that got pregnant and then lost a baby. It hurt all the same, you know. But the circumstances under which I lost it were unusual, to say the least. And that's why I kept it to myself for 7 years after. My mother knew that I had been pregnant and then wasn't pregnant.
So you're pregnant, you're suddenly not pregnant, and what happened to this child was, at least your dream recall is, that you were abducted and the child was taken from you.
The day that I woke up, and the first thing that came to my mind when I woke up that morning was, I'm not pregnant.
This is after an abduction experience, a dream experience.
And she is not alone. That happens to many people. That's a huge part of the abduction phenomenon. Some people have even gone as far as to say the UFO phenomenon is the abduction phenomenon. And the abduction phenomenon is largely, from what we can tell, related to the hybridization program. There do seem to be other programs as well that some experiencers, you know, are forced to undergo, you know, consciousness switching and things like that. But the main one that we know about is the hybridization program. It seems very widespread. God knows how many hybrids are here. You know, hopefully they're friendly. But it is obviously hugely important. And one more reason why we need UFO disclosure, because beings that aren't 100% human are here on this earth, and we don't know their agenda. We need to be able to talk about this openly, not witch hunting. That's not what I'm proposing, but contact with these beings and trying to understand who they are and what they are all about, and hopefully how we can all help each other to some shared goal. Because one thing they do seem very interested in is the preservation of Earth. So we have some common ground to start with, hopefully, right? Yeah, just one more reason why we need UFO disclosure. We need to be able to discuss this openly because this is affecting so many people. And these beings are here. And it's just ridiculous for us to pretend they're not, and to not have some sort of dialogue with them and understanding with them. Again, without witch hunting or anything like that. So yeah, we have to, I guess, find a way to address the witch hunting problem, maybe before we, you know, unveil this to the public, right? We need some sort of mechanism so that you're not afraid, which, you know, might be something they need to do. They may need to demonstrate in some way that they are friendly and have our best interests at heart, or at least can work with us towards some shared goal, and that they don't mean us any harm. But let me know what you think about all of that in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, please consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.